looks like it's going to be one of those kind of days.
Good morning. Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are Two Crazy Ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and then every Monday we go live on Keto on the Couch, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you can find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time I'm having a rough time getting up in the morning, you'll be alerted to it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess I'm not taking you to Texas de Brazil today.
I think I will be ready by, noon or 1 o'clock. But last night I had a hard time actually getting to bed. We're doing a really great bedtime routine. Mm-hmm. We turned off the TV at 10:30.
Yep.
And I just laid there and could not turn my mind off. I was like, I checked the doors. I was like turning off all the lights, like just making sure, did I forget anything? Is the oven on? Like, I was just having a hard time settling myself last night.
You actually were like, something's dripping. We thought maybe our, like, chili sleep bed was dripping. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And it wasn't that. It was, there must be something slightly, like, on the bed, like, hitting the bed. So every time you move the bed, it's like a slight creak, but it sounds like a drip because it's like drip. Drip, but it's not really.
It's a creak.
But it was keeping you awake. I have a way to wake you up a little bit. Here you go.
With some breakfast.
Little bit of yogurt, nothing added to it, just plain yogurt and 25 grams of blueberries.
I wasn't planning on even eating breakfast because we're going to Texas.
That's why there's no granola or anything in there, just a little bit of something. And now our vacuum is going to start. Alexa, tell Roomba to stop.
I'll tell Roomba to stop cleaning. Would you like to end the cleaning job and send Roomba home?
No. We definitely need to get the house cleaned.
So while you're eating that, I have to tell you a little story since you're talking about how you couldn't get to bed. I got busted.
You got busted?
I got busted really hard. So not last night, but Monday night into Tuesday. The dog woke me up. She had to go to the bathroom. And when the dog, she normally goes all night long, but maybe she didn't go out early enough or something on Monday night.
She needs.
She will just come in our room, or if she's laying next to me, she literally just jumps up on the bed and like breathes in your face. Like, I have to go to the bathroom.
You're not confused.
There's no confusion as to what she wants. And so I brought her out to the bathroom, but as I've said before, now I'm awake.
Yeah, if he gets up, if you get vertical, you are awake.
Right.
Now.
And so it's like even last night when you were like, something's dripping, I'm like, you're really going to make me get out of bed, aren't you? Because now I've got like another 30-minute ritual, right? So anyway, it was kind of laying in bed after I took her to the bathroom, and all of a sudden, like, Heath came to my mind. And Renee came to my mind. I'm like, I need to check on them.
Just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, I'm like, I need to check on them.
Like, how are they doing?
And sometimes, that just happens with us. I'm just like, I start thinking about someone. I'm like, hey, I need to make sure everything's okay with them.
And we've learned not to delay that.
Right.
To, like, if I have somebody come to my mind that's like, write them a card and encourage them. I just do it.
Right.
And just believe the best. Like, okay, they came to my mind. Let me just go ahead.
There's a reason they came to my mind.
There's a reason they came to my mind. So let me go ahead and reach out.
So I sent Heath and Renee both messages on Facebook, just like on the instant messenger. And I don't normally use instant messenger.
They probably thought it was like a gag or something.
Well, I don't use Facebook Instant Messenger, and Rachel really doesn't use Facebook Instant Messenger. So if you need to contact us, I will tell you the best way to get a hold of us is either through email or Instagram instant messenger. But we really don't check Facebook one because it's just one more thing you have to check.
You have to draw the line somewhere.
I do know both of them use Facebook instant messenger. So I said, let me go just send them a quick message. Renee sends you a message like, did Joe get hacked?
Yeah, because which I would believe too, honestly.
Right.
Because it's like, why is Joe messaging me?
Right. And then Heath sends me a message, I'm doing really well. I would like an explanation of why you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right, because
you're supposed to be sleeping.
You know.
And I was like, you know what?
That's a good friend.
But we asked you guys to do that.
Yes.
Right? We asked you, if you notice that we are not sleeping, call us out. But the reason I was up is because the dog woke me up, and they just came to my mind, and when somebody comes to my mind, I stop whatever I'm doing.
But that was awesome, and we say that all the time. Good friends are like iron that sharpens iron.
That's right.
It's like they help you be redirected to the health goals that you have. They encourage you in your health goals, and they're no exception. They're Heath and Renee, like you care about them and they care about you, which is a really, really awesome friendship.
Yep. So today we're going to go to Texas de Brazil, and the reason we're going to Texas de Brazil is because I have a bunch of gift cards, and one of them expires tomorrow.
Right.
And I'm not going to lose $25.
We can't let that meat get away.
So it's not going to cost us any money to go because we have a $25 gift card, and then we have another one that doesn't expire, but we bought all this like last year, so it won't cost us any money, and lunch is only $30 a person, which if you like Brazilian steakhouses, if you're looking for some place to go,
it's a nice entry level.
Brazilian for keto, you're never going to be able to beat a Brazilian steakhouse. We spend the same amount of money in a Brazilian steakhouse as we do going to Texas Roadhouse getting a 20-ounce prime rib. And I feel a lot more, as much as I love Texas Roadhouse prime rib, I feel more satiated, more satisfied going to a Brazilian steakhouse because there's so much variety. You feel like you can have a little bit of everything.
Well, we always liked buffets because we like variety.
I can't make a decision.
But like traditional buffets have like 25% of it, maybe, and that's being generous. It has something I can eat.
Right.
Like 25% of the bar. So like I'm not getting the full value for my money. And we found the same thing with sushi places. I enjoy sushi and, well, a sashimi.
I like sushi, but we can't have...
But it was the same thing. It was like they'd have this big bar available for a reasonable, all-inclusive price. But it was like I could only eat maybe 40% of it.
Yeah, and even there, like, you don't even know what kind of sauces are on the food that you can eat. So, to me, a Brazilian steakhouse is always going to be your best bet. It's a little bit more money, but...
And go for lunch if you can.
Go for lunch if you can, because it's usually a lot cheaper. So for us, like our Texas de Brazil, lunch is $30, dinner is $54. That's a huge difference, and there's not that much of a difference in the food.
You could bring a third person.
So, well, we're bringing a third person. We're bringing a scale. So, since we weren't able to go yesterday, so this is going to be a lunch, can you track at a Brazilian steakhouse?
But this is
and a review.
Better scale.
So I purchased this with my own money on Amazon. I will leave a link for it down below. And the reason I'm going to put this as a review, because some people really are meticulous trackers. Some people want to go out to eat and really track.
Okay.
Well, look at the size of this. This is like a purse size. Honestly, I feel like, I can fit it into my cargo pants short pocket. So this, I feel like, would be a good thing. And look at this. It's got, like, the scale. It's got a little cover here. It's got a cover here.
Okay.
Let's see. There's a battery on here. And I believe this was an 11-pound scale.
I'm going to eat 11 pounds
Well, what that
meat.
means is you could... Just as an example, so we'll go ahead. I like this because now you can put your food on that and then clean that top later. It's not just on the stainless steel.
But even something heavy.
But, well, let's clear it out. Okay, so tear. And so, for example, if we were going there, you can put your little bowl on there or your plate and then put your meat and stuff in there and not even worry about dirtying the scale. So we can put, that little tiny plate they give you? Just keep that on there and just put the meat on that. And I feel like that will be a really good way to measure out our food in a Brazilian steakhouse.
We are not encouraging anybody else to do this. This is not a trend to start.
But some people might want to.
We are curious as to how much do we actually eat when we go to a Brazilian steakhouse. Because we can measure at home And, you know, I think that you could get a pretty fairly decent measurement from some restaurant websites.
Right.
Even have like the nutrition information for what you're eating. But
when it comes to something like this, you're not going to be able to do that.
How you going to know?
Like, right? So it's better to do it this way. But like you said, normally our normal restaurant, we just kind of guesstimate it by their website. Coffee today. So you had a half a cup of yogurt with just 25 grams of blueberries.
It was delicious.
Coffee today is 40 ounces of coffee split between the two of us. 2 scoops of peanut butter, perfect keto MCT oil powder.
Very nice.
So 1 scoop apiece. And then an egg split between the two of us and a couple of drops of iodine drops. So that is our coffee for today. So it'll be interesting to see everything at the Brazilian restaurant. One thing I will advise you when you go to a Brazilian restaurant, if you do go to a Brazilian steakhouse or any kind of all-you-can-eat meat buffet, I don't advise going in I'm a keto or I'm a carnivore shirt.
No.
Because they kind of, when you walk in and they see that, they push, at least in my experience, the more bread carbs and stuff more. Because let's face it, the reason they're offering you free bread and free potatoes and all of that stuff.
Because that's the cheap stuff.
Because that's the cheap stuff, and that's going to fill you up. So when they see I'm only eating the meat,
they're like, I wonder
we're about to go broke.
If I can go, get them to sidetrack just a little for just this meal.
Take 2 on eating at a Brazilian steakhouse.
So got home from work. On my way home, I stopped at the dentist because the tooth that she's going to work on next week started wiggling loose again. And so I said to her,
don't risk it.
Anything we can do. So she immediately got me in for an impression. So hopefully...
What was your impression?
Next week, that tooth will come out. We'll already have the partial in. So we are going to head into Texas State, Brazil. And we're going to plop a scale down on the table and see what happens.
Total weirdos.
So this is the strangest thing that we've ever done, but we're just going to be ballsy and just do it, okay? And that is we have our scale with us, and we're going to measure exactly how much meat we consume while we're here.
Okay, we're going to start off with this, so I'm going to go ahead and weigh it.
Okay, so first up is a flank steak.
46 grams.
Are you enjoying yourself?
It's very odd. Filming everything and weighing everything.
What I think is funny that's coming out of our eating situation, look at this massacre going on my plate, is we have a discard pile. We are keeping track of things, but if it's something we don't want to eat or like it's overcooked or overdone, because we're tracking it, I think we're not just gonna take it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
I don't know, I'm pretty much eating all of it except for the chicken. When they said it was Parmesan crusted chicken, I thought it was like the chicken breast like it normally is, and this isn't. It's like chicken legs, and
not my favorite.
Not my favorite, so I'd rather just keep eating steak unless another kind of chicken comes out.
So the waiter, of course, asked us, what's going on here with the scale? But we started talking about why we're doing this, to just see, do we eat more when we're out at a restaurant versus at home? Does it make any difference as far as how much we consume when we are having time in between bites of meat? I think that we're going to discover that we eat way less than we think we do. We leave full, but it's because our meal took a lot longer than it does when it's at home. So this is the stuff on the salad bar that usually distracts me because I am dazzled by sun-dried tomatoes and fancy olives. So we're gonna go ahead and weigh that too. But again, tracking it here, keeping track of it, I think I'm being more careful than I normally am.
So they're getting ready to close out the kitchen.
So we gotta eat fast.
Because they're like in between lunch and dinner shift.
Yeah.
So I was like, they were like, anything else? And I'm like, yes, I want a piece of picanha. Look at the size of the picanha that they brought me.
I ain't complaining.
What is that? Like 138 grams of picanha. That is definitely gonna finish us off so we can eat that. And then by then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So are you in a meat coma?
I have absolutely hit the protein wall, and hard. I'm ready for a nap for sure.
I think I out-ate you.
Maybe. I think I was distracted by the yogurt this morning.
You're gonna blame the yogurt.
I'm gonna blame whatever when I want to win something.
That was really interesting. So just quickly adding up numbers, we're gonna have to really go over everything when we get home. I ate approximately 17 ounces of beef, not to mention everything else. So
I
don't even
haven't
know
added
where
mine
your
up
numbers
yet.
are.
Yeah, I gotta
But
add
that
mine
was
up.
just quickly adding it up in my head. But like, I will like look at everything when we get home. But I definitely ate a lot. And it was really cool because we put that scale down, and then the waiter came over and had long conversations with us
What's going on with
about
this?
keto and carnivore and eating a lot of meat. So,
well, something that he shared was his pride in being able to help support our health goals.
yeah.
Like, he's like, please come here.
He's like, ask for me next time.
I want the opportunity to serve somebody, especially if this is your primary diet. Like, it would be my good pleasure. So I thought, what a fine young man.
We have fueled ourselves well.
Yeah.
We're full. We've got energy deposits now that we need to burn off.
Yeah.
And I know exactly where we need to burn it.
How? This closet's insane.
Look at this closet. Everybody's just shoving crap into it. I don't think we need even a fourth of the sheets. This is like inherited sheets too. Like, anybody in the family is throwing something out, it's like, oh, I'm sure we'll find a way to use that.
Look at the shelf. Like, the shelf is actually like leaning, like it's just raising the shelves off.
How many picnics can we seriously go on?
I think we need to take everything out.
Yes.
Go through it, and I guarantee you, we can probably create like 3 shelves to store keto chow and other stuff in here.
Seriously.
You wanted to start pulling it all out?
I don't want to, but it's a happy situation.
Yeah, against all laws, I made it, I changed my thoughts. No switching, I take that off. They've been itching to hear my loss, but look at my losses, I turned to the lessons. Confession, my call is in question. You wouldn't offer a message when you know the author suggestions. I want it all. Yeah, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I had a run from the sight of the
I
law.
bet that there is so much stuff in here that we don't even remotely need. Look at this. This is a change out for our front room.
Well, we should change that out.
We can change it out, but
We didn't even know we had it.
It was buried. It was buried. We found towels where we'll be like, wait, we are out of towels. Well, there might be in the linen closet.
I also see we have probably about 50 pillowcase sheets. Meanwhile,
Look at this shredded thing. This is one of those, like, every Christmas the kids all get a new blanket and a set of pajamas, and it's got some sentimental value, so no one's using it, but they're also not throwing it out.
I just think it's interesting. We keep reusing the same pillowcase ones, but there's like 50 of them in here. Like, we could actually be changing out our pillowcases.
There's so much evil surrounding the family. Astounding, man, you can't ground me. I've been around the town, I say proudly, so I know what it needs. I've been counting, so I know what it means to be rowdy. Yeah, we don't take seats on seasons too. They still grieve when they eat the fruit. If you want change, better lead with you. Still want it all. Light up the place we come across. First things first with the summer talk. We be the ones who gonna fall and then rain again. Yeah, pride coming for the fall that way. Can't save them then. Look all the rays that came and went. Light up the place and change it then. We gonna do what we gonna do, so get out of our way. Dodge your holes and obstacles, we enough for the game. Fighting all this evil around us all day. Even nights when we lost the fight. Hey, hey, we lighting it up. Never been caught when we caught in a rage, we lighting it up. Even on nights when we lost in the fray, we lighting it up. Never been caught when we caught in a rage, we lighting it up. We lighting it up, we lighting it up.
Okay, so we made a lot of room.
We did, and now the things that we have in this closet are actually helpful, not just taking up space.
We have a lot of keto chow.
We have a lot.
We came home with a lot from Utah.
We have a slight addiction.
So down on the bottom, I organized into, we have a lot of pina colada.
Which I'm excited about, and it's right up on top.
Now
and
we can find it.
This is like, we're going into May, we're going into June. These are like summer months, and I really enjoy kind of like this tropical, refreshing flavor.
Okay, so there's some peanut butter and strawberry ones.
Yay.
Okay, and then you got to bury the pina colada until we use all those. Don't throw those. That's all the ice cream that's made, so you're going to have to get used to grape.
I'll put them on the side.
And then
just
here,
for Joe.
find a place to put those.
Right on top of the grape. So that was a lot, but it needed to be done.
I feel like we just got a lot accomplished and in a very short amount of time.
I feel like we just lost 100 pounds apiece of linen. How about that?
Okay, so 2 things I want to discuss. First, we're going to go over how we did at Texas de Brazil, and then I wanted to touch on what we were talking about yesterday with our body maintaining homeostasis.
Okay.
So we went to the steakhouse. We brought a scale. We met a friend.
We actually met a wonderful waiter there, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he was excited about partnering with us and helping to propel our goals in his job. I thought that was really awesome.
Okay, so we weighed out most of what we ate. And we're going to start off with meat. When it comes to the meat, we didn't break it down into the cuts of meat. We basically just broke it down into
pork.
beef, chicken, pork, which you only ate beef.
I was in a beef mood except for I had a couple shrimpies.
Yeah, now they have actually brought us some Parmesan chicken, but it wasn't what we normally would eat, so we ended up not eating it. So Rachel scratched that off of it because you did originally get it, and you're like, oh, this is not what I want.
It was a drumstick with the bone cut off, and I was like, not for me.
Normally, it's like the white meat, and it's crusted in Parmesan, and that's really good.
It's tough to convince me to even eat a chicken thigh.
Right.
I see no need for the drumstick.
Yeah, and then for me, I ate chicken, but it was bacon wrapped chicken. Yeah. I love those. Okay, so when we first got there, we went up to the bar. I ate 28 grams of bacon, 38 grams of salami. I did a lot of cheese. 37 grams of Parmesan cheese. They had like sliced Parmesan cheese.
Very fresh.
60 grams of mozzarella cheese. Then we had the beef. I ate 500 grams of beef, which
sounds huge.
Roughly 17.7 ounces. So that's over a pound of beef.
Yeah, but I think about when we go to Texas de Brazil.
We get a 20 ounce.
I'm sorry, not Texas de Brazil. Texas Roadhouse. But we were thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah, we get a 20 ounce prime rib.
And I leave from there thinking, all right, I ate everything that was on my plate, but did I get totally full?
Right.
But we're in the same ballpark. Again, I think it is a mental game of it coming one bite at a time, some time in between. We're just sort of naturally settling at full.
Right.
But you do it differently at a all-you-can-eat place.
And when we go to Texas Roadhouse, that's normally not our only meal for the day.
Yeah.
So this definitely, even though we're in roughly the same amount of like the beef, we're eating some other stuff, and this is our only meal. So overall for the day, we're actually eating less. And also, when we go to Texas Roadhouse, we're eating the broccoli, which isn't bad, but
I'm only eating
I'm eating because it's there.
Because it comes with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now I also ate 140 grams of chicken, which was bacon wrapped chicken. 5 ounces of that. Okay. And then I had 120 grams of pork. They had like a Parmesan crusted pork tenderloin. So 120 grams of that. So that was 4¼ ounces roughly.
But you're looking at around 26 ounces of meat.
Plus the other stuff.
Which I think is comparable to what we eat across 3 meals a day.
Yeah. Now for you ate 539 grams of beef, which is roughly 19 ounces.
But that is not much different than what I order at Texas Roadhouse.
And you had a lot of variety. And honestly, this was cheaper than us going to Texas Roadhouse. Because when we go to Texas Roadhouse, we normally spend about $75.
Yes.
And that is like no appetizers or sides. That's just give us our 20 ounce prime rib, no drinks or anything like that. So you had roughly 19 ounces of beef, then you had 30 grams of shrimp, 8.8 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes.
I love me some sun-dried tomatoes.
21 grams of olives, and 17 grams of jalapeno.
Which that jalapeno really worked hard, right?
Yeah.
Because they left all the seeds in.
I actually don't have mine on there, but I had one too.
It's pretty spicy, and so it was like cut a sliver of that and top your beef with it, and it was really good, but usually when we're at home, we take the seeds out. So it had a nice kick to it. I felt like just having a sliver of it was just awesome for the meal.
So overall, I think we got a really good value. Same amount of money that we would normally spend if we go to Texas Roadhouse. And we had a really good variety.
Yeah, I think the variety is the key. But honestly, I will normally say, hey, let's go to Texas Roadhouse because instead of a Brazilian steakhouse a lot, because I think that I am going buck wild when I go to Texas de Brazil or another Brazilian steakhouse. I feel like I'm eating too much. But once we were weighing it out, I'm not. I'm just getting super filled up, but it's stretching the time that you're eating.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Cyrus talks about. Put a little bit on your plate, then put the rest that you are thinking about eating on the other side of the table or another room, and then when you're done, you get up and go get it, and it makes it take. It's kind of like your chopsticks thing. So
Absolutely.
I think that because they bring it to you slowly, you're getting filled. You're allowing your hormones to catch up with it, because it does take you a little time for your stomach to tell your brain, hey, I'm done.
Well, and the way that the restaurant is laid out and the servers, they're actually helping me to stretch it out. Because again, waiting for them to come around, I have to wait. It takes precisely as long as it takes for them to get to my table. That's how long between my bites.
And the interesting part is we went for lunch, but we got there towards the end of the lunch serving. And Texas de Brazil actually shuts down their kitchen for a little while, whereas some of the other places, they don't. They immediately go from lunch into dinner, and everybody's still walking around. We had that like when we went to Rodizio Grill last week. But they actually shut down their kitchen for a while. So when we came to the end, I'm like, I'm kind of still hungry. And I said to the guy, they're going to bring any more food? And he's like, let me see if there's anything left.
Yeah.
And then they did send out the 3 things I wanted, which is a little bit more of the bacon wrapped chicken, a little bit more of the pork, and a little more picanha. But in the time it took them to bring it out, I started going,
Ooh.
I'm not as hungry as I thought.
Maybe I am full.
I'm full enough. I was like hungry enough to eat that, but then I was done in that extra 10 minutes. So that was really, really good. So yesterday in the vlog, we were talking about that our body wants to maintain homeostasis, and when it comes to our eating. And what I mean by that is your body is going to actively try to balance out the amount of energy that you're consuming with the amount of energy that you're expending.
Right.
So if you're eating at a surplus, and only a little bit of a surplus, and this is why something like a reverse diet will work, your body will try to get you to expend more of that energy, maybe pushing you to do a little bit of exercise, ramping up things a little bit if you're only eating a little bit more, having you do things like twitching, involuntary movements that you don't even notice.
Yeah.
But when it comes to eating at a deficit, your body is again going to try to slow things down or make it so that it can survive on the less energy that it's actually giving you.
Which is nice.
Now, here's the thing. It does it in a lot of different ways. One of the things that it's going to do is go, hey, I'm not getting enough fuel. So it's going to make you crave more food, right? It's going to
We've all been
make
there.
you feel like you're hungry. It's going to release more hormones that's saying like, hey, you need to eat more. It's going to give you more cravings for carbohydrate because it's like, hey, I need more fuel.
Yeah.
Then it's also going to do things like make you not want to work out, not want to exercise.
Been there.
And that's why long term, just slashing calories to lose body fat isn't going to work long term. You can't just keep cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting because your body's doing what it's supposed to do, which is make it so that it can survive on what it's had. And the reason I'm saying this is, I don't know about you, but I've definitely felt this in the past with all of the yo-yo diets we did all the time. I felt like I was a failure, right? I'm a failure. I can't do this. I just don't have the willpower. You hear that all the time. You just don't have the willpower to lose weight.
Right.
But it's actually what your body is doing. Your body is trying to get you to do these things. You're not just fighting against willpower, you're fighting against all of your hormones.
Yeah.
So we're not failures.
No, we're not.
We just have to learn to deal with the hormones.
We just need to get to the point that we can communicate with our body properly without all of these things clouding the issue. You know, carbohydrates and my sugar addiction clouded the issue. It caused there to be a lot of noise in the background between me and my body trying to communicate, right? It was a real distracting thing. It's hard to say, what does my body actually need? Am I actually hungry? When I have all of these stressors that are confusing the situation.
And that's why you have to change things up. Change up your eating time. Change up if you're doing intermittent fasting. Do it some days and not others. Constantly keep your body questioning. But also that's why something like, you know, eating a higher amount of protein and a moderate amount of fat and low carbohydrates like we would on a keto carnivore lifestyle will help, because when you eat more protein, it's going to help you satiate, which is going to help you fight off all of those hunger hormones where your body's like, I'm not getting enough food, I'm not full enough. The protein will help satiate that. And then if you're eating really low carb, that's going to make your body turn to the fat for fuel. And so now the fat that you're consuming and then the fat that you have on your body will help get you to your next feeding. But we really just need to look at everything, change things up. And if you are in a point where, like, you know, you're just in a stall for a long time, consider doing some tracking, see where you're at. And you might be just under eating so much that your body slowed things down, and it's going to be time to do a little bit of a reverse diet, which sounds scary. You got to eat more. But if you do it slowly, your body will ramp things back up, bring you up to homeostasis, and then all of a sudden you'll be able to lose weight eating more than you were before.
And that's definitely been the case for us. And we know that it takes a giant leap of faith to be willing to do that. We hope that our videos and like just living our lives in front of you guys helps to make it a little less scary, because you've seen people that have gone through some of the same hangups that maybe you have. And we've done our journey publicly, so that maybe when you see how it affects us, maybe it'll encourage you to take that next step for yourself.
So that's going to be the end of today's video. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video, which I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Bye.